All right, so it is Saturday, which, like I said, for me lines up to be rest day. So what does that mean? What are we gonna do? We're gonna rest. We're not gonna do a dang thing. And honestly, it's kind of great that it lines up to be my rest day, because I don't know, I woke up, I did my fasted cardio, I ate my breakfast, and I just felt just pooped this morning. I don't know what it was. I slept pretty good. I don't know if I'm maybe stressing. I know for a fact I'm overanalyzing, my physique right now. I'm seeing the changes, just a week after the show, and a lot of changes at the very beginning were good, and certain changes I'm getting in my head about, towards the end of this week, which, I will go ahead and show my physique right now, currently on Saturday, from show day till right now to where we're at, which I'm comfortable doing. It's okay. But as a promised physique check, I'm not going to pose or nothing, but this is how we're looking so far. It's exactly a week after the show. I believe I'm only about 4 pounds off of stage weight, but we're still very dry, still very lean, still very conditioned, and improving. Feeling a little flat, but improving. So, but rest day means rest. One of the biggest things is obviously resuming training post show and resuming a diet that is still very low carb, pretty much like it was in peak week. The only thing we did different was increase my protein to 6 ounces, so now I'm getting a little bit more protein, and we did switch up the variation in protein in the order of my fats. So we made very, very minor differences, and I feel like towards the end of the week my body's just making its own little adjustments and its own little fluctuations. Weight wise, it's been very stable, and if anything, yes, we've increased weight, but it's been such small increments to where I think this past pound I've gained a total of 2 pounds, or a pound 1.8 or 1.9, something like that, just 2 pounds and right under. But I got to relook at my notes. But at the end of the day, again, it's rest day, so we need to make sure to prioritize rest, because again, as I was saying earlier, after a week and then resuming to this diet and then training and all that, your body is going to be a little bit more stressed as well. One, mentally, from seeing the changes. Two, from the training now that you're resuming, but still on a low diet because you're still prepping, if that's the case for you. And then of course, as I was saying about the aspect of your body stressing, your body's gonna be, mentally change your perception of how it looks. And, that's okay. Like this morning, I was sitting on the couch with my girlfriend, and we were just talking a little bit. I'm talking about my check-ins and all that, and I'm explaining, how I feel about, certain areas of my physique and all. And she's like, you need to stop over-analyzing everything. And I told her, I was like, no, I agree, because I feel myself really diving into that, then how, like I'm looking in the mirror all the time, I'm posing all the time, this and that. So, with, again, today being rest day, sure, I'm going to go ahead and show my physique here in a second, but I'm also going to go ahead and prioritize just keeping the shirt on, keeping my eyes away from the mirrors around here as much as possible, even though I work at a supplement shop gym, and I run the place, and I got to be back and forth all the time and see all these mirrors. And lighting throughout the day changes, and certain times you look better, then worse, then you eat, then you look worse, then you look better, than this, than that. But that is the mental side of prep that a lot of people don't like to necessarily either talk about, or is not talked about enough. So that's this. Today's being rest day, I'm going to prioritize just, again, staying away from anything visual. Really, I do have a really nice day planned out for the rest of the day. My girlfriend's cousin, oh my gosh, I hope that's right, is having a birthday, which is going to be really, really awesome. So we're going to go ahead and show up to their place and share a moment and celebrate his birthday. So I believe, was it Sean? I believe it was Sean. Happy birthday. Oh gosh, I really hope it's the right person, but I don't think you guys are going to watch the YouTube video unless you know what? No, I'm going to talk to you guys at, where we're at, and I'm going to give you guys my YouTube and make sure you guys see this video. So if I'm getting the names wrong, guys, I'm so sorry. But hey, at the end of the day, happy birthday. We'll see you later. We're going to enjoy a very good time. I will be there with my meal prep container. So maybe a little bit longer, and we could all get together for a couple cold ones. I don't drink much, but you know, a couple cold ones means, you know, I get you guys the case and I'll take one or two. So we'll enjoy it that way. But and YouTube, I do not condone drinking. I am just making a adult example of what, you know, a nice little gentleman's hangout could be. Plus, you know, when it comes to your girlfriend's family, you gotta be cool, you gotta be good, you gotta, you know, set the tone. And I have not been cool or setting the tone because I've been on prep. But luckily, obviously, with my girlfriend doing the same thing, competing in bodybuilding. And she's dang good at it. She looks freaking awesome, sweetheart. I'm proud of you. Her family also understands because they've been through 2 shows and they've seen, you know, her go through prep and all that. So it's actually really cool for me to be in a much bigger environment that understands all this stuff. Sure, they might make jokes. Sure, they might, you know, kind of, you know, be silly or goofy about it. But at the end of the day, they do understand, and they do show that level of support that they showed my girl when she was prepping and doing all her stuff. So, but that's the evening which we got planned out. So regardless, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be nice and relaxing. I got a nice new pair of cowboy boots this past Monday. So I'm very excited to go ahead and finally take them out. I know it's going to be hot, but you know, boots are boots, and I haven't worn a pair of boots in a long time now. Listen, I don't care that I live in California. You know, in a place where, well, you know what? Never mind. Santee, they do. You know what? That's my coach's dad, Mr. Halabi. Give me 1 second. My coach's dad. I love the guy. He's literally like a second father to me. Genuinely speaking, like a second father to me. If anything, also reminds me of my own dad as well, which is awesome. Anyways, gosh, what a good guy. What a good guy. Joey, if you follow my YouTube, which I mean you should. If you're not, fam, what are you doing? Your dad's awesome, dude. Your dad's awesome. And I guess this is just part of my rest day. I'm just talking. I'm resting. I'm reflecting, recovering, all that good stuff. I'm waiting on my girl to come get my meals for me. And this was actually really funny too. This whole week we've been sleeping in the living room because with the balcony right there just wide open and as much airflow as possible with some fans. It's been very hot here in San Diego, especially at night here in El Cajon. But man, I gotta clear my throat. It's hot and my mouth dry. But you know what? Let me adjust this. Sit down, and that seat cushion is slightly wet from the condensation of this cold water. But that's what I was saying. I'm just ranting, reflect, all that. But waiting for my girl. Yada boom. Train of thought resumed. Bam. Make an edit out of that. So I guess she gets up in the middle of the night. I don't know whether. Not in the middle of the night, I'm sorry, like 5 in the morning, I guess, to get something. And today I was sleeping in just a little bit longer because the gym doesn't open up till 6 a.m. on Saturdays, which it is what it is. But I'd rather wake up earlier, get it done with, and come home and eat earlier and space out my meals longer on rest. Anyways, this girl texts me and because she'd be so polite that she did not want to wake me up. So she just texts my phone so I see it when I wake up. But at 5 in the morning, sends me a text. Hey, you know what? Let me read it because looking back, I think this is actually really funny. I felt my pillow vibrate because I had my phone under my pillow so I could wake up with my alarm. But she's like, "We don't have tilapia or chicken!" Exclamation mark! You can send a schedule text. Lol. I discovered it last night while you were sleeping. But she sends me that today at 5:05 in the morning. So, sweetheart, thank you for looking out for the fact that we ran out of the proteins that I needed for today. So, but it's okay because, like I said, it kind of gives me a little bit of space in between my meals, and that's something that I really want to prioritize, especially today on a rest day where I'm not moving around as much. I'm definitely going to be wanting to keep my body in kind of like a relaxation rest mode. Still move around a bit, do some movements here and there, definitely stretch, definitely maybe some band work to, open up and to get a little bit looser, do some dead hangs, stuff like that, stuff from, that's healthy for my body, maybe like a functionality a little bit, continue working on my hips, because that's an issue that I've had in the off season. My hips were misaligned, causing, nerve issues in my back, and, nerves to fire left and right and cause pinches and tightness and all this good stuff. So, today I'm really going to prioritize very, very little things that nobody really wants to do. Unfortunately, none of us want to do them, but we have to. And I don't care who you are, honestly, because I've heard pros talk about this. I've heard, the amateur of the most amateur talk about this. Nobody ever sticks to a proper, stretching or recovery or whatever routine. Sure, they do it, they show it in all these videos and edits, though I prioritize this every morning in my routine. A lot of times we get so busy, and that's the part about it. It's like we get busy and we forget to do things. I get it, but it's programmed in our body to prioritize the most important things, which is, our meals, our sleep, our recovery, our steps, our cardio, our lifts, our meal timing. But we leave out the little things here and there, and that right there actually is what separates, of course, the good from the great, in my opinion. But at the same time, the good and the great both lack in that same exact area, from what I've seen and from reflections I've made. So Sundays, I for sure want to make sure that it is that day that I prioritize those tiny little things, because the more consistently I do that, maybe I could find ways to plug it into my days, here and there going into my off season. Obviously, I have a very different kind of structure because of prep, but now I get to, implement certain things out of prep into my day-to-day life that will help with, my functionality and, just overall well-being and stuff like that. So again, this next 4 weeks is another good opportunity, like I said, not only to learn from previous mistakes in prep, to be more prepared, to be more cool, calm, and collected, and to be more at peace and to enjoy the prep, but it's also to continue to adapting and contributing things from prep into my life, because that's what I truly believe bodybuilding is doing for me. I truly believe that bodybuilding is helping me reinforce my life with habits and building characteristics within those habits that are helping me produce and become better as a man. So I genuinely think that, again, it's very important to be, taking notes and journaling, and, my phone is full of notes in my notes app on, just thoughts throughout the day, or reflections, or things that I've noticed, or especially right now, obviously I'm going through so many changes and so many different adjustments, or not even different adjustments, but my body's adapting to adjustments to where, my head is clustered with thoughts. So what do I do about it? I write it down either on a piece of paper, or, I make sure to get the thoughts out on screen. We have resources to do this, and that is something that I recommend, anybody do, not just bodybuilders or anybody, write down your thoughts, because when you write them down and you can read them back, it's much easier, much better, because those thoughts don't get stuck in your head. You're getting them out, literally, in a physical way, whether typing or writing. And I feel like that's what also helps with, reflection, because when you look back at those exact thoughts, your head isn't necessarily replying the what if situations, or, oh, is that what happened at the time, or is this or that? You have it clearly written down as to what happened, what you're trying to do, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, whatever the case is, and you can reflect on that very steadily based off of what that exact thought or reflection was. So that is something that helps a lot, again, for mental clarity, and that is something that I'm focused on these next 4 weeks. Being at peace, being clear, and being away from any kind of, overflooding thoughts that can cause stress, which is exactly what I don't need. So I want to just keep myself in the most stress-free situation as possible, stress-free environment, and I want to make sure to, again, just be the best kind of character that I can as well, through learning these adjustments, through learning these reflections, through applying these things in prep into my daily life. Bodybuilding, again, is something that really helps me implement a lot of these good habits and characteristics into my lifestyle, into my day-to-day life. Just like the Marine Corps has taught me a lot, but it's also kind of programmed my mind a certain type of way where, for example, like when it comes to timeliness, right? I'm very good with time management, but I'm also very like get to the point. So, or not get to the point, but let's get to it, because you know, you're taught to be 15 minutes early to the 15 minutes early, because if you're on time, you're late, and if you're 15 minutes early, you're not on time. So it's a weird concept. If you're in the military, if you know, you know. If you were a vet, or if whatever the case, if you get it, get it. But that's something that's programmed into my head. So no matter what I'm doing, no matter what it is, I'm always thinking ahead to be early, to be on time. But I was also raised that way, so that's a double whammy. Boom! I'm ready to be go anywhere at any given time. You know, the Marine Corps, I was perfect for that, because I'm ready to go at all times. In organization and all, as much as organized as I am, I'm very disorganized. As very disciplined as I am, I'm also very complacent. So every good thing that I feel like we do has its counterbalance, and it's time to find that balance. And within these 4 weeks, again, another point of focus is finding that balance. So again, this is a video of me just ranting really on a rest day, but yeah, no, seriously, if you guys have any questions about anything prep related, and if I'm starting to, you know, kind of connect to some of you guys that are watching about, you know, the conversations that I am having, please let me know. Let me know. Give me a follow on Instagram. Go ahead and shoot me a DM. Give me, you know, video ideas, all that good stuff. Another thing, obviously, I love cut off t-shirts, you know, like sleeveless ones, like baggy little tanks like this, like, I don't know, plain ones, design, graphic, whatever, it doesn't matter. If there's any companies out there this video comes across and you see this part of the video, you should go ahead and, you know, send me some stuff, or, you know, I'll unbox it in a video and tag you guys and promote you guys for free or whatever. If you guys want to sponsor me, all that cool stuff. I'm looking to better and promote myself as not just a bodybuilder, but an entrepreneur, as well as, you know, businessman, coach, all that good stuff. But anyways, please guys, like, share, subscribe, and go ahead and give me some feedback on anything that I talked about, or if you can relate on anything, or if you just overall, you know, like the content or not. So go ahead and leave that up, and I'll see you guys in the next video.